Hello everyone, Mav78 here. I'm going to do another playthrough video of one of my courses, the Davies at Bel Air. I've not planned anything with this. I've kind of got up and I think I'm going to have a few minutes before some people having a lie-in, so before they get up I might sneak a video in, bump up my new YouTube channel with content, golf and stuff. Just the other day I did a video Royal South Wales on my latest course, just a little playthrough and show all the features. I used to do it before. I kind of knocked it on the head after cloud break because I was waffling a little bit and repeating myself, but I thought I'd make more of an effort now, and I'm going to do like I said in my last vid, do a few other vary the content a little bit, I guess. Anyway, the first hole, it was fairly benign. Sometimes that's a good feature with starting holes, make them quite easy, get the golf flow in. People, you know, if it's an easier hole, they're more likely to make a better score, so they'll be happier. You know, they sets them up for a happy round. That's the theory anyway. There is these bunkers on the left, they look fairly out to play, but the idea is if you do that, you know, first hole, that tuggy fast left shot, it does gather them quite well, and if you push it then as well, you've got these bunkers over there, and middle of the fairway you've kind of got a clear view with no bunkers to the green sort of thing. The main thing with this course was the concept. Like, if you look over there, I've got the LA skyline, and then if we turn around, we've got the Hollywood sign. So, and I've done all the canyons, they're quite reminiscent of them Hollywood Hills, the suburban areas of LA. I'm not quite sure what you class it as. I think someone said it was, or I read somewhere it was heathland. Or moorland. They got different sort of terminology for all these landscapes in America compared to Britain. So, but either way, we're all familiar with that flora. So I've kind of, you know, recreate that, and then it was just build the course inside. It ended up getting chosen to host a PGA Tour event, which was quite a shock to me, because it is quite quirky in places, and I did a bit of experimenting towards the end. 16 and 17, which I'll show you, are quite quirky, and 17 is a bit of a monstrosity, to be honest, which I did own up to, and 16 is one where you've kind of got to learn to play it. Anyway, let's I'm not going to hang around with this video because I think I'd be lucky if they're not up in the next 10 minutes, to be honest. I'll try and pull one. Last time the video I did, Royal South Wales, I couldn't show you anything because I couldn't execute the shot properly, so I've played a few rounds between then. I just played Arctic's new course, which is just pretty phenomenal as usual. So I have had a bit of practice, but I will try and pull one in and see if I can show you what I mean. So you're middle of the fairway, like I said, if you push it, and then bunkers over there, very fast. Probably a bit extreme, but you know, the way the fairway curves around to the left in the landing area means you're gonna end up in there if you're not careful. But like I said, fairly straightforward first hole. Fairly mellow greens, sort of.
You're out of the bunker, so that's a good thing. Get in there. Okay, this one for par.
Thought I was going to break a little more than that.
Nice putt.
Yeah, the Hollywood Hills sign in the background. I kind of copied someone with that. I can't remember what course it was, sorry. I would have given a shout out otherwise, but
Okay, hole number 2.
someone had used them hospitality tents to make writing on one of the hillsides, so I thought, you know, I clicked then, I could do the Hollywood sign. So this is probably my favourite hole on the course. I like it when you have deception through bunkering. The lighting's not great here to show it, but if you see, you've got the sort of 4 bunkers in a row there. The one on the green kind of lines up. I actually no, that wasn't the actual. You have to excuse me. I don't remember a lot of the features with this. It's just been a while, but basically it's a deception. So if you imagine if I had where I am now there, if I had a pop bunker there and then there was two pop bunkers ahead of it, they would appear to be together, where the one is 50 yards short. So it could sort of trick you. It's used more for greenside bunkers when they say 30 yards short of the green. You know, you think it's a greenside bunker, and you know, it decepts you into coming up short of the green, sort of thing. Yeah, they don't actually line up much, do they? But anyway, yeah, it's a pretty quirky hole. The idea is you can lay up. There's lots of options to lay up. You know, take this. It's a short hole, so you could take the little safe spot here, nice lie, but it's blind. And the closer you creep up to the green, you get a visual of the green. And if you're lucky enough to, if you push your left, you try and get down into that little hollow for a pitch, and you do push your left a little bit. There's trees up there, and there's this obviously this horrible mound here, as well as the bunkers to the right. But if you can kind of hug the bunkers here and get down this slope, you'll have a nice little pitch, and you won't have to worry too much about that green, middle of the green bunker there, which is, I've done one before at Serenity Lagoon, I think I called it. Didn't do very well. It's a decent little course, so if you're bored and want to play a few courses, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Let's have a go. I should I'll try there with a bit of fast and see if I can get down in there. No, I'm in the bunker. Or in the desert.
Good.
One of them sort of viewing points you see in LA, you see them in the movies. People playing Bon Jovi in their car and making out. Good old 80s style. Oh, we got 94. Oh, that'll do. That would have been quite good if I hadn't pulled it.
Well, I'm just glad to be out of the deep stuff. This is good.
I'm not sure if I made it. I did a PJ Tour version where I added all the tournament objects, and I'm not sure if I firmed the greens up, make it a bit tougher. But some of the greens I did mellow out. I think they're fairly easy all the way around until you get to a few quirky ones where I probably just started experimenting a little bit. That's why I never thought it'd be anything other than just a course. You know, there's not going to be loads of competitions or anything. So, but I think 16, 17 I mellowed out a little bit.
Good putt. Well done. Stay right where you are at Eden Park. Coming off a par on the last one. Let's see what happens here.
Would you class this as a heroic hole? You can either play up the left there, give yourself a longer shot in, or try and clear that. You get on a nice flat lie. If you go too far, you'll be down in there, which isn't a bad shot really. But does gaining yourself 30 yards into the green for an easier shot class as a heroic hole? You can leave yourself some tricky shots if you get the wrong side of the hole. Here I've obviously got to play now, and it's going to be quite hard to not get that to run over to here off this behind the pin. If I'm honest, I don't where am I going? I don't like that, and if I was doing it now, I would have leveled that out, and I don't like it flowing off the green. And I do see it on some courses where the collar, the fringe to the rough is sloping off, so it just kind of runs off and sits in the rough. Where if it's a run off, fine, it runs onto a bit of approach or fairway, then fine. But generally I don't build my greens like that. I try to flatten out the fringe and unless it's coming off the green, you know. So see if I can pull it off. Should we go all the way up? Not too bad, I think. Stop. No, it's going, isn't it? I probably should have carried that to the pin with a flop shot. That's not too bad when it's rolled out there, but
16 feet out.
you see to the left there, I'm not so keen on that. Although it does play quite well as a challenge.
Nice putt, we're in there. You'll stay right at even par after that hole. See how close you can get to that pin.
Bit foggy. The right side here, what I didn't want it to do is if you bailed to the right, kick you back in. So I took a bit of time to make sure that was flat if you land in it and you didn't get away with it. Yeah, I quite like this hole. The layup, very steep slope there. So if you want to go up with an iron, so make a, you know, probably a long pitch in, but you're gonna have that horrible upslope. Or if you can get onto this plateau, you're gonna need a fairly straightforward lie. You can have a go at the green. Lends itself to a long and narrow, lends itself to a drive in. This is where I started to fiddle about a bit, this is where I started to fiddle about a little and try some things out. I see I got that sort of ridge all the way through the green that way and split the green. Normally you have a line of plate here where, you know, front and back, up and down. I'm sure there's plenty of greens. I think I did one at that might have been Cloud Break the par 317th. I think it was something similar. You know, if you just splits the green in two really, and you've got an awkward putt if you miss the wrong side. So quite neat. I'm gonna have to lay up, I think. I've been quite lucky. There's no sign of life upstairs yet, so I will start getting a move on though. Bit heavy.
Good stuff. All right, drop this one in. This one for birdie. Nicely done with the long putt. It's going to bring it down to 1 under par. Nice bird on that last hole. Let's see another one.
This I have this sort of random idea of having a long par 5 uphill, and then straight after it a long par 5 downhill. So they're two 600-yard par 5s nearly, with one's extreme uphill, one's extreme downhill, basically 87 uphill. Look, so this is a 3-shotter. That's kind of tricks you into thinking you can carry that over to there, and I don't even think you can with the wind. It's a lot steeper than it looks, so you've got to play it. I think I've got up on the front edge with a behind wind. I think maybe you can clear that if you've got a nice one, a nice wind, but generally it's a 3-shotter. See, 310, 36 uphill. Does lend itself to an approach if you can sneak it up there with that front edge. If you can get it over that little ridge, it'll run you up to the green, I guess. But probably not the most strategically exciting hole, but more of a slog really. 6th hole will really slog you up, start wearing you out. I think golf courses, I would imagine designers think about things like that as well, you know, especially if you're doing a competition course. Although not many are built specifically for competitions. If it's well, I guess they're championship courses, and then if they're championship, they can be used as competition courses, I suppose. you've got to think about endurance and wearing the golfer out, stamina and everything, I guess. Never really thought of that, to be honest, but
Okay, let's go.
I have made a little bit of effort with the rocks and stuff in the background, but it wasn't anywhere the detail that I could have gone to. Sometimes
Well,
just
you-
want
you
it.
could have had
So many
it right
ideas
there.
for
I think you
different
know that, but, next
courses
time,
and stuff. You
those
want to.
ones will drop.
I find if
Okay,
I'm
100 for the
getting
round.
towards the end of a course, I just want to get it
Par
done and move on to the
5
next
here.
one. I've just hit one out of bounds, so it's actually 3 off the tee here, but possibly my favourite hole. You see it's 672 yards, 100 yards longer than the last hole, but far more reachable. Obviously the downhill 178. So it was that idea of that Bel Air. I've said it enough times now, but yes, you've got that flash of sand. Most modern designs almost demand that from a course. You can see the bunkers ahead of you. We're back in the early days of golf design and all. They were quite hidden. That was it was more of a trying to trick you up. It was the course itself was actually trying to catch you out, sort of thing. With it, they sort of shied away from that now. It's seen as unfair or whatever. But I still quite like blind shots and stuff. Maybe not too much, because it probably gets a bit old when every shot you can't see where your ball is, that kind of thing. But as one or two shots on the course, I think it's fine. Used to be common on older courses because they had to build their greens down to collect moisture, and obviously for the agronomy, so you'd find they would dig them down a little bit so the water would gather, and that way that meant they sat down. So from the fairway, and you'd struggle to see the green. But then as time evolved, then they started to do the opposite. They were actually starting to be built up, and the sides would flow off, so they were sat up so the water would drain through and also hold moisture. So it was it's funny how it evolved from that primitive concept of creating a bowl to gather water, to then you don't want too much water, you want a good drainage, but you wanted to hold moisture, so they would build up soil where the green was, until eventually obviously technology with pipes and all. Let's go for it. So we can get down in par with an eagle-ish. I've just done it again.
I think this is heading for the rough.
Yeah. Got away with it.
Gotta love it when the bounces go your way. Lovely result. You're in the fairway.
Don't think I get anywhere near anyway, though. See that fairway, if you catch that fairway around that bunk, you will get nearly a 400-yard drive out of it, I think. That's it, lay up into the only bit of rough in the area.
Alright, nice little 2-foot putt. Well done. That's going to bring you up to even par. Coming off a bit of a bogey on that last hole. Let's see if we can do better here. It's a nice looking tee shot. Nice. Here's a putt for birdie. Yes. Okay, 1 under for the round. And we have the 9th hole coming up.
Cheeky little par 3. Fast. That's gone and all. think I know that by now, wouldn't you? The game's about to switch to 2K21. I still haven't figured this one out. I do enjoy designing more now, if I'm honest. It's,
this is hole number 10.
Looking at that now, I think you could see the Hollywood sign, but I could have made that with that tree. Them two trees on the right were gone, and I lowered that slope on the right, and you could see the entire Hollywood sign. That would have been pretty cool. The concept though was, you see, I mean, you could lay your 6 iron up till there if it's drastic. What will that give you to the green? Probably over 200. It does allow for a shot in from there, but it is kind of the further you want to hit it, the more you got to kind of hug this right hand side with the trees. Look, so obviously you can't go, if you want to hit driver, you can't really, if you want to get to there with driver. But the fairway does lend itself to a big fade, which was kind of the idea. Maybe not quite enough. The cabbage. It's not really cabbage, is it, John? I thought I turned you off and you're back. I think he's back for the 2K21. I heard somewhere. Oh dear.
Looks like some rough.
Just as I get going and get a nice smooth rhythm.
You're still in it, but you were hitting from a pretty gross lie. So
goes the cack. You see in the background there, it was a bit of a lame effort for the Hollywood Hills, you know. I just stuck a few houses up there. I think now I've seen the reaction to my last course, making a bit of an effort and the features and all being well received. I might just start doing that now and taking an extra month with a course to work on the surroundings and sort of try and release, I don't know, maybe 4 courses a year, give myself 3 months. Per course.
And setting up here for the bogey.
There was a bit of a strategic feature to this hole, this par 3, which I can't quite remember. I think it's this front bit here kicks you right, so you can sort of land it short here, and it'll feed around to there. But obviously you've got to flirt with these bunkers on the right here, something like that. I'm gonna play it safe though today. It should come round a bit if I. That's not bad. See that fast? I know it's a longer club, but sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't.
Nice.
I didn't really there because that's a bit of a nasty putt. I thought it was steeper than that. Not too bad. Hello. Oh.
Ooh,
touch more.
Just it's a good attempt though. Nice putt.
Good attempt though.
Okay, nothing changed here. You're staying right there at even par. Coming off a par on the last one. Let's see what happens here.
It is just like real life, this game. You hit a couple like that, nice and smooth, straight, and as soon as I hit a fast shot when I pull it, or you know, a big slice, you try and slow your swing up and you hit a horrible slow shot. I think it's great, but it's not, you know, I'm used to playing Tiger Woods with a horry pad, everyone's shooting 30 under a round. You'd have to score a hole in one to win the match, really. It was whoever, you know, hold out. I haven't got my horry pad anymore, guys, in case you're wondering. You can clearly see I don't cheat
Yes.
by how bad I am. Birdie.
And that hole. Keep it at even par. Coming off a par on the last one. Let's see what happens here.
Quite like the view of the downtown area. I think originally I had the idea of it was a bit closer to the course and you could see the boulevard, so I just have some palm trees with the with the streets, the long straight streets going, and
So far,
I
so
didn't
good
have the
for this one.
inclination in the end, I'm afraid.
All right.
It should all be about the course, so I know if you go that extra level with the surroundings, like I say, that side of it I see as artistic. I think it's it is genuinely art, I suppose. But you still got to have a good course. You can't take the focus away from your course. That's got to first and foremost. That's got to stand up. I think the one thing I'm probably quite good at. I mean, people might think my courses are good or not good, but I do try and make every hole I design different. I try not to. I think if you went through my back catalogue of courses, I don't think I got many holes that are repeated. They might be monstrosities, they might be awful, but I do try and do something different with it every time. Even this hole, a short par 4, possibly reachable, real heroic hole, but it's got to be perfect, because even if you're down here, you've got a pretty camera control. But if you're going to do well to stop it on that green, and then you've got this sort of pitch up here. If the way I see it, it's not real life golf, so you haven't got to have that security of a good, solid template or whatever. And what am I doing? And people are paying for it or anything on you. We can get away with it. You can do what you want, so there's no cost if you mess up or anything. So of course, if you're doing a really good course, if you're
Sweet.
someone's paying you £10 million to build a course, you're not going to mess around doing silly holes like this. But we can get away with it on here, so why not do it, innit? Wait till you see 16 and 17. I might skip to them now, actually, and
Clean drive.
anyway, this is one of the holes that was just completely out there. I really liked the tee shot, the way that it banks off to the hill there. It was a lot steeper than that originally, to the left of the fairway, but it was just a bit, it was quite hard to get that blend there of it looking a bit odd. So I don't think that's too bad, but see how steep it is there. Not really much to the actual shot itself, it's more lining yourself up. Par 4, a few people said I messed up, it should be par 5. It was meant to be a par 4. 5 to 8, 10 uphill, so it's basically playing 5 to 8 par 4. But if you watch now, oh come on, for God's sake, kick right. That's not probably gone far enough, but I should be able to pull it off. But now you cannot, the idea is you can't land the ball on the green even if the pin's at the back. That's the whole premise with it. You need to be landing it up here somewhere, and then it'll roll up. I got this little ridge here to catch you out if you don't quite get enough pace on it. But yeah, and also there's a front pin position here which I create at the end, which is a bit I think someone actually complained about that when the comp was on, that it was a bit of a stupid pin. But that was the idea with it, it's one hole, it's a bit of madness, it's a bit of, almost impossible to stop the ball. But yeah, but you've got to putt, you've got to get up and down with the putt. You might not make a birdie, you might pull it off something amazing, but it's not like a stupid out of the bounds nearby where you're gonna, you know, or a tree in the way that's gonna stop you in your tracks. You're just gonna leave yourself a big long horrible putt. But that's sort of the idea with it. But right, I need to try and pull this off now. I'll try that one. I think that's a bit more closer. Try and do this without pulling it or anything. Yeah, that should be alright. There we go. I think you might stop there. No, we got it. Christ, I pulled one off. I should get that top pin position, look. Because oh, not quite, no. It wasn't good enough. And I couldn't have hit that much softer, so it just keeps going and going, and the further you land it along, the further you go to the back of the green. So, but it's, you know, there's nothing unfair about that in my eyes. It's just that one hole you've got to negotiate. It's a complete
very nice. All right, we got a 22 footer.
Just a different way of playing it. See, 6 downhill. If you were to play back up there now, it's hardly drastic, you know. 17 was, I did mellow that out for the tour event. Just show you now.
Little 5-footer here, nothing too scary. Great putt in there for par. 1 over for the round. Okay, nice clean swing and drop this on the green.
Lovely setting. You've got the whole the Hollywood sign there. Cavernous bunkers to the right, hills to the left, a bit of a canyon going through the back there. But if you look at the green, the idea was to split the green into 3 different greens within the green, I suppose, and almost 3-tiered green, convexed. Normally your tiers would be sat up as you played them, I suppose, but this one was, the middle of it was sat up, and the ones around it would like a fidget spinner, I suppose, something like that. And if you know, with a long club, with our wind today, I'll be fine. Well, probably, but with a long club, it's a tough shot, and you really got to think about where you want to land it. I mean, the best spot is, the safe spot is just at the middle of the green. You just play it up through there, middle of the green, then you've got an up and down putt. Where if you end up over here to get over to there, then it's a lot more difficult. So I'm gonna go straight to the pin and try a fast shot. That might be alright, actually. I don't think it's going in, but it's pretty good. If I can do it, you can do it, trust me.
Alright, solid approach shot. You can 2-putt from here. Alright, this putt for the birdie.
I miss the putt now, watch. I haven't all. Oh. Anyway, I'm not breaking any course records, am I? +1. Wow.
Solid stroke on that one. Sitting at 1 over for the round.
It'd be a nice screenshot. Yeah, so last hole you played towards the city, so it all, you know, the vista. Fairly quirky hole. I think it was reachable originally, and now it's just the further along you go, the more rumbled lie you go. Nothing special. Half decent clubhouse, you know, pretty straightforward. I sometimes like that with my clubhouses, just, you know, because they're not that fancy. If you think of a clubhouse in real life, unless it's a resort, they're all pretty dingy. And again, going back to that members course thing, you know, you go in the clubhouse, you stink of BO. You know, they're hardly appealing places, but
I'm liking it.
Until you get in the bar, then I suppose that's another. We can't replicate the bars on you, but that's always a big, especially if you go to top clubs. Who's got the best food and best beer? It's another part of it. Anyway, I can hear rumblings upstairs, so I'm gonna head off now and edit all this and cut most of it out probably, because it's a load of BS. But okay, till the next time. Don't forget to subscribe, golf and stuff. Cheers.